Rotational swing. Now, you really don't need a lot of weight for this exercise. So start light. The biggest thing to focus on, or two things: one, posture, and two, doing the best you can to mitigate any sort of momentum when performing this exercise. So here I'm using a kettlebell. You can also use a dumbbell, doesn't really matter. Holding the weight in the center, I'm gonna slightly bend my knees, feet are about hip width or just outside hip width apart. I'm gonna bend forward, keeping my back nice and flat, sticking my bum back. And then I'm just gonna rotate to one side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm gonna do the other side. 1, 2, 3. You get the idea. I didn't do the last rep, that's okay. So the big thing we're focusing on is making sure we keep our lower body locked in this isometric position here, whilst we then rotate through our upper body. So this is gonna really have a big impact on your obliques in really strengthening that muscle group. The biggest area where people go wrong, like I mentioned earlier, is they'll start to use momentum to get higher. If you play back and watch me when I'm doing the reps, I come up and hold for a second. So I'm really building that active strength as opposed to just using momentum and getting a lot of passive range, which doesn't really benefit me in any way. Other than that, the big things to keep in mind are posture. So you really want to maintain that position where your hips are back, your back is flat, slight bend the knees, and you're keeping the weight on your heels. And you should feel almost in your hamstring and glutes as you lean back into the movement. Other than that, the movement's fairly straightforward. Big things again, don't use momentum. Focus on that posture with your back. Generally, you want to be horizontal with the ground with your torso, and everything else should be pretty straightforward. If you do it correctly, you should feel it through your obliques. And again, you don't need to start heavy with this movement. Keep it light, build up to it.